What's up, Reef Builders? Jake Adams here again, and you know, I always say that every video is special, but this one is really tickled my fancy this year because this is one of the most stupendous collection of corals that I've ever seen in my reef aquarium career, and they have room to grow. And I'm speaking, of course, of the Worldwide Corals Coral Farm. So Worldwide has grown corals in their own tanks and next door in some dedicated tanks for many years, but about a year and a half ago they set up a completely different building to be a dedicated coral farm strictly for coral culture, where they can focus their efforts on a huge diversity of propagated corals. Now, everything you can think of in this particular coral farm, I've done my best to capture a lot of B-roll to include in this video. You guys are gonna love it. So here's an exclusive look at the Worldwide Corals Coral Farm, and it looks completely insane. So can't wait to share this with you. Let's go inside and take a look. What's up, Josh?
What's going on, man?
How's it going? It's truly great to see you. I hear you were sick, but you got healthy just in time to tell me all about the Worldwide Corals Coral Farm.
What do you want to know?
First of all, what do you call it?
The farm.
Just the farm.
This is the farm.
All right, this is the farm. Give me the rundown. What size are these vats here?
Each of these are 300-ish gallons apiece. So it puts the system at right about 1,200 gallons.
So you have 4 of these 300-gallon tanks tied together?
Correct.
And so I think you have 4 systems all the way down.
Correct.
So what's the total volume that you guys are working with?
I mean, I guess you could say close to 6,000 gallons.
Close to 6,000 gallons, man. Well, this is truly insane. I spent some time here just totally in awe of all the different corals that you guys are culturing here. And man, I'm just really excited to learn the nuts and bolts of this operation and hear that you're the master plan. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the equipment, starting with flow and lighting.
Each one of these tanks has 6 Ecotech MP40s on them. We stagger them from side to side. You know, one's going to be about 12 inches further down the tank than the one opposing it. It gives us a really good flow pattern in these tanks.
That's a really creative approach. You know, I've never really thought about doing that, but definitely helps you fill in all the gaps, right?
Well, there's a couple reasons we do it. One, if I wanted to put a rack that's a little bit taller above the existing corals, I can, because it's not getting blasted by the power head directly on. And 2, it covers the tank well.
Very
with
cool.
A little bit of reprieve in each corner.
Okay, so we can see a hint of what lights you're using on here. Tell us what these are, what model, and how many.
Each tank runs Gen 3 Pro from Ecotech. We have a few tanks, as we'll show you down the line here, that have 4. That's just because they really are low light tanks.
Okay.
The schedule is basically a modified EB+. So we really liked what Ecotech did with their Coral Lab project. But we modified the color a little bit so that it's a little bit more visually appealing. But yeah, if anybody is ever interested in it, we're more than willing to give that profile out.
All right, Josh, so tell me about some of the major equipment that you use to manage this system.
We have XP8000s from CoralView.
That's your protein skimmer?
That's our protein skimmer.
Got a bubble blaster pump pushing it?
Yes, 5,000 I believe.
Okay.
We run Reef Flow, Barracuda pumps I believe.
All right.
The calcium reactor is the GO, I believe it's a
12 inch?
Yeah.
12 inch diameter, 18 inch high?
With the carbon doser electronic regulator.
Okay. So you've been working with these systems from the very beginning. Tell us what it's like just to manage so much volume on a large scale. And I know it can't hurt that you guys design these systems the way you like them.
Yeah, we kept things as simple as we could because of the fact that there's so much.
And you stuck to equipment that you knew?
Yeah, for sure. It's always worked for us.
What are some of the principles you think that have really assisted in your success here?
Simplicity obviously is one. You know, we keep everything very, very simple. Water changes, same exact thing every week. Water testing, same exact thing every week.
Right.
You know, there's no failure.
So
we need to do it the same way every time.
There's a lot of consistency.
Correct.
Very cool. And you still, no sand in these systems, no live rock in these systems.
There's live rock, but it's limited as much as we could fit in the end of the tanks where there's no coral,
Okay.
or maybe a little bit in the sump.
Now, I understand you guys have maybe been feeding a lot more generously in recent time.
Yeah, we feed a lot more now. Here in the farm, we actually feed a small amount every single hour.
Every single hour? How do you accomplish that?
Timer.
A timer? Wait, manually?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very cool. And what fish food do you use? Or what, and what coral food do you use?
We actually have a blend of our own.
Okay. What's inside?
Shrimp, fish, garlic.
Just a seafood menu.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some phytos. There's, we use a little bit of small particulate coral type foods like cyclopes and things like that.
And earlier we were talking about snails.
Mm-hmm.
You guys use a lot of cleanup crew or just certain snails?
Yeah, like I mentioned to you before, they seem to get in between the frag plugs real well, whereas some of the fish that get bigger and bulkier in their older age don't particularly care to get down and work like that anymore.
Okay. Tell me about like the production rate that you guys have here. There's so many frags, and I know you guys are pumping it out like during your life sales and stuff. So this has to be a fragging machine.
We have to produce like 300 to 400 frags a day. I mean, if we don't, we get caught behind. But I mean, that's part of the plan too. We have one person that, regardless of what happens, we try to keep one person fragging at all times.
At all times. Very cool. Yeah, I understand you have a few shifts of folks who only work in the farm.
Correct.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about like some of your brood stocking. I noticed that you have like a lot of LPSs that are on a really large disc and then little pieces next to it.
They are basically going to be corals that we either one-off frag, like a really cool frag for somebody who's looking for something real nice, or maybe we're going to cut it in half and make 30 frags. It depends on the scenario and how fast it grows.
Very cool. Well, I think we spent enough time not looking at corals, so let's just take a peek at a few of your favorites and a few of my favorites, and just share some anecdotes you have about it.
Okay. That one.
Which one are you pointing
That
to?
one. That one.
So what are we looking at?
We've never sold a frag of it.
Okay, what is it called?
We don't have a name yet.
All right, and what is it?
It is probably the nicest rainbow chalice you'll ever see.
Okay, and what do you like about it so much?
Can you see this? Does it show?
Yeah, just a little bit. Not too shabby.
I mean, we have and we've had a lot of rainbow chalices, but none to compare to that.
Right on. How long you been propagating that one?
This one's been back here for almost a year.
Oh, super nice.
This one here,
Yeah.
Jason Fox, chemical reaction.
Yeah, that colony really, really grabbed my attention when I first saw it.
It's the rim. There's something about that rim. This is the one we call melon head. I don't know why, but I'm a sucker for Phovites.
Okay, very cool.
Not to mention the fact that you can jam pack a whole pile of them in one spot and they're not aggressive.
Wow, this Goniasteria right here with the stripes, that one is just super killer.
That one's high voltage.
Can you bring it in for a close-up?
Sure.
Super nice. fun. All right, tell us about these caps over here.
We got a little arsenal of WWC grafted cap and another of the Sunfire cap.
So how are they different both in color and in growth form?
The polyps on this Sunfire cap are really, really bright yellow. And they actually graft down the center of some of the polyps. Whereas this one will do the same thing, the original grafted cap, but they're not nearly as vibrant. They don't stand out like that. Aside from the fact that this one grows at twice the rate that that one does.
What's about these lures over here, man? These things are the dream.
You know what it is? We've tried a whole bunch of them, and some of them lose their color after being with us for a while. These ones have not. And these have all been grown from a single polyp.
Very nice.
So not only have they made it through, you know, trials and tribulations, but that's the colors that they're going to be.
You know, when they have that super fleshy trumpet shape, that's when you know that your Micromusa lures are just totally peaking.
They grow. I mean, they grow really well. I really had no idea they grow that fast.
And the other thing that's cool is no two rainbows are exactly alike. There's so much diversity in their colors and the patterns and how bold they can be.
Yep.
Do you think this is one species that benefits from the feeding you guys do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably more so than a lot of them do. You know, our Duncans and Euphilia, they'll benefit quite well. Some of the Micromusa. But
tell me about this Cyphastria over here that's red and green. I don't know, I love Cyphastria, but sometimes I'm lukewarm on it. But for some reason that one is just really bold. And it's the way you guys frag it, it's always almost 50-50. How do you do that?
We force it. We cut a piece of red and a piece of green and let it sit long enough to take its color back together.
Oh, okay, so you're refusing them together. Is that some of the same technique you use for the monoporas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
most of the time you'll get one color that goes one direction,
yeah,
well farther than another, and you don't want that. I mean, symmetry is kind of key.
So you kind of have to curate the balance of color in some of these grafted corals.
For sure.
Very cool. So one of the things that I really love about the farm is you guys are still growing a lot of bread and butter corals, such as the green star polyp, Euphilias, and just like this crazy bouquet of green clove polyps. They're all different colors.
They do good in groups. I almost feel as if the stalk needs to be shielded, you know, and when you put them into smaller frag plugs or you cut them down into doubles or singles,
right,
they just wither away to nothing.
Yeah, you know, I've seen my share of clove polyps in the wild, and they're not 2s and 3s. They're like, you know, good little fields, and they look luscious because of it. That's a really interesting observation.
I honestly believe that they don't like being exposed to the elements.
Exposed to the elements while under seawater.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so one of the things we've been saving for last are these funky, weirdo, miniature Micromusas. What can you tell me about these? You know, they've really exploded on the scene just in the last couple of years, and even like this year. And this is like the section of the farm that I spent the most time checking out.
What can I tell you? I can tell you they come in every color there is known.
Wow.
I mean, you can take one colony and just take a little piece off of that colony that's a different color and re-merge it with the colony on another part and have it grow back together. You know, it's really neat how they blend.
I love how fleshy and puffy they are.
I don't know how else to explain that other than to show you what we've got going on here. I mean, they blend really, really well.
Cool. Well, Josh, thanks so much for answering a lot of my questions about this place, because I spent a lot of time looking at stuff, but you definitely told me a lot of things that I didn't know. But one of the last things I'm interested to learn about is you have a couple empty systems. You know, what's in plan for the future for these 2 empty vats?
It's all broodstock. I mean, we have to keep keeping space for broodstock. Otherwise, we run out of variety. And variety is really what everybody's looking for.
Are there any groups of corals that you're going to focus on with those particular tanks?
We are going to try to dedicate a little bit more space for zoanthid and pallies. It's something that we've always kind of lacked in.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And we definitely need 100% keeper acroporas.
Right.
I mean, most of that's in our display tank.
Okay.
You know, so that's kind of the gears that we've chosen for that. But other than that, LPS sells. LPS is what is the introductory level of coral that everybody's looking for.
Very cool. Thanks for your time, man. Hope you get well very soon, and it's been really a pleasure to visit the farm and see just how much the worldwide corals and the farm have grown, and to see so many captive grown corals. So thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Jake.